Okay, so today we are going to learn more about counting and totaling. Okay. Okay, so our main target is to learn how do a programming language will help us to do totaling and counting. So what is the definition of totaling? First, we start with the totaling. Totaling increase randomly. Increase randomly and increase or decrease. Increase or decrease randomly and by default does not depend on condition. Okay, increase or decrease randomly by default does not depend on condition. This definition I make. Okay, this is for my understanding. I make this definition. What does it mean? It means that, for example, what is the total amount of money a group have? For example, the group have 5 people. So what does it mean? The total amount. The first person, do I know? I don't know. He might have nothing, or he might have $100. Next person might have $50. Third person might have $30. Fourth person might have $200. Fifth person might have $500, right? So that means randomly. It's a random numbers. These are random numbers. I don't know. User have to ask. User have to tell me that how much he has. So I don't know. A programmer does not know. So it always increases randomly. Okay, whatever the number will be input, that number will be added with the previous number, and I will get the sum, right? So at the beginning, the total was 0. So first input came, which is 100. So 0 plus 100 will be 100. The next input is 50. Now 100 plus 50 is 150. 150 plus 30, right? Likewise, it will be increase. So I hope you understand what does it mean by increase or decrease randomly. So decrease in case of like you have $1,000. So you want to buy 5 items. So based on the price of the item, your total amount will be decreased from your money, right? So that is also decreased randomly. So we understand what is increase or what is decrease randomly. Now, this is super important thing. Okay, by reading the question, you have to understand that they are putting any condition or not. Then it will be a conditional totaling. So by default does not depend on condition. By default, means naturally it does not depend on any condition. Like I ask you, what is the total amount of money you have? I didn't add any condition here. For example, I didn't ask that if your amount is greater than 200, then only you can add with the total, right? I didn't put any condition. So whatever the amount you have, it can be no amount or it is $100 or $500 or whatever it is. Whatever the random value that you have, it will be added with the total. Okay, that means by default does not depend on any condition. Okay, so this is very important concept because we have to learn, we have to read the question properly and check that whether they put any condition or not. So today we are going to learn about totaling in detail. Okay, so let's start. So again, one thing you have to remember is, for example, write a program, write a program, write a program to find the sum of 5 numbers. Now, if you read the question, write a program to find the sum of 5 numbers. What type of numbers? Any number, any type of number, right? So that means this question does not have any condition. Did you ask me, write a program to find the sum of 5 positive number or 5 negative number, or write a program to find the sum of 5 numbers and the numbers must be greater than 20, or the numbers must be less than 20, right? So no condition has been given here. So that is what I mean at the beginning, that normally totaling does not depend on condition. Okay, great. So one thing we have to remember for our operator things is that, any operator works on operand. Two operand must be. For example, if you write plus b, there's no meaning, right? Plus b here representing the b is a positive number. So we need a plus b. Now a contains a value, b contains a value, or a is a variable which contains a value, b contains a value. So these two values will be added and we can save the result in C. So in the same way, we need this concept while we will learn to write the programming statement properly. So for example, now sum of 5 numbers. So at the beginning, we have to assume that before adding the numbers with each other, I don't have nothing. So nothing means 0. So at the beginning, I will say sum equals to, we will write in this way. Okay, sum is 0. So we're assigning 0 in sum. Now let's do the simulation first so that you can understand the concept very clearly. We're gonna use the loop here also, right? So we have to let us know how it works. So in one program, we can understand the full concept. You have to have some patience so that you can understand your basic very clearly, so that you can learn it properly and you can implement it during your exam. So first of all, think like you wake up in the morning. I ask you, how much do you have? You said, my total is 0. Okay, now I put here a count because I ask I'm going to give you 5 numbers and you need to find out the total. So you need a count to see how many numbers came to your life so far. Count, and this is my number, which is called the input. And this is my sum, right? So as you can see, count is a variable, which will count how many times so far I have input the number. Number is the value. Each number should have a value. And sum, after you input the number, sum will increase by that number. Okay? So here I write count 1. I ask you, what is the first number? My first number is 10. So sum was 0, added by 10. So it turns into 10. Okay, we can segregate this by columns. Okay, now count is 2. What is the next number? You said my next number is 20. So next number is 20. Before sum was 10. Now it turns into 30. right? Then number 3, the number is 30, for example. So before the number is 30, previous sum is 30. Now you got 60. Count is 4. The number is 40, for example. So previous number is, new number is 40. The previous sum is 60. So it turns into 100. Then the fifth number is 50. So the new number is 50. Previous sum is 100. So it turns into 100. 150. Now count is 6. So as you can understand that there is 5 numbers. So when count reaches to 6, that means my total is done. Okay. Now what you have seen here, you can see that you are following same steps 5 times, right? What are you doing? So you are inputting a number, and that number is adding with the sum. You are inputting a number, that number adding with the sum. You are inputting a number, that number adding with the sum, right? So input number and that number adding with sum. Input number, that number adding with sum. That means these two statements is repeating 5 times. So as we learned from our previous lecture, if we have to do a particular job more than once, we have to use loop. Okay? And how many times we have to run the loop here? We understand that if we know how many times, that means here we have to input 5 times, and that number have to be added with some 5 times. So I need to run the loop for 5 times. Great. That's the main thing of looping and finding the sum. Okay. We have to know that which statement or which expressions have to be inside the loop. Okay. For example, sum is 0 should not be inside the loop because it's the initialization. If you put sum equals to 0 at the inside the loop, every time sum will be 0. So your total will not mismatch. Okay. Folks, now see here. So this is the initiation. Okay, now you can say the totaling have synonyms. Okay, total, you can write total, it can be sum. Okay, it can be. How can you understand in the exam? So these are the 3 keyword. Okay, you need to remember that this question belongs to totaling. Like how much money do you have? Okay, for example, you have 5 accounts in the bank. So how much money? Much. So I don't know, this amount in each account can be random value, right? So much is representing another word of or synonym of totaling. Hope you understand so far. So let's start this job now. You understand the concept, how the totaling works in real life. So we will convert this simulation into programming statement. So here we're going to do here for count will start from 1 and it will go to 5. Okay, what is the things that I am doing repeatedly? I am inputting the number. I'm inputting the number. The number that I input, it will be added with sum. Then I will get my new sum. Okay, that's it. Look at it. Then count will increase by the next value. Then I will print here. Sum of 5 numbers, comma, sum. That means it will print like this: sum of 5 numbers is 150 for this example. Okay, now look at this, how it will work. So initially sum 0 is fine. Count is 1. Okay, then I'll go inside. Input number, you input the number, which is 10. So 0 plus, done. The next line is sum equals to sum plus number. So it will execute from right to left. What is your number now? Your number is 10. What is the current value of sum? Current value of sum. Always remember we have to work with the recent value. Okay. So number value is 10. Sum value is 0. So 0 plus 10 is 10. So new value of the sum is 10. Next count. Count is now 2. 2 will compare with 5, right? Yes, 2 is less than 5. I'll go inside again. Input the number. Now you input 20. The number is 20. Previous sum is 10. So 10 plus 20 turns into 30. Next count is 3. 3 will compare with 5. It is less than 5. I'll go inside. Input the number. You input 30 now. That will be added with the previous sum and turns into 60. Likewise, it will go on. If you have any question or doubt, you can raise, put your comment in the comment section. So in the next lesson, I can explain you your doubt. Okay. So hope you understand. So our major thing that I'm going to say here is, this is the basic sum, right? Write a program to find the sum of 5 numbers. Now we, what is that called? We didn't put any condition here. We take the plain numbers and work on it. Okay. So sometime they might ask you, right? Find the sum of temperature. Find the sum of temperature if you take everyday ones. Okay. Find the sum of temperature for the month of January. Right? So you have to understand that, oh wow, here they didn't tell how many times I have to input. So, but they indicate here the month is January, so January has 31 days. So your loop should be start from 1 to 31. Okay. Similarly, if they ask you for the month of February, so it will be like 28 days. But if they say normally, right, February is 28 days. But if they ask you, find the sum of temperature every day once for the month of February for the year 2024. Okay, so you have to understand that why they ask you here 2024. That means there is something fishy or something I have to think. Okay, so now you consider that 2024 is a leap year. So in the month of February, in 2024, the month of February has 29 days. So these are some very basic or tricky things you have to understand while you read the question. Super. So next, what we're going to do here is we will do a conditional sum. Okay, write a program to find the sum of 5 positive number. Write a program to find the sum of 5 positive number. Okay, now there is 2 ways you can solve this problem. If this type of problem comes to your exam, you can solve in 2 ways. Look at the mark. Okay. If it is 3 mark, no need to make it complicated. But if it is 6 mark, add a strong validation. What does it mean? Let's do with the 3 marks answer or 4 mark answer. All right. So here only positive numbers are accepted. Good. But you see, the user, for example, think that user, he doesn't know what does it mean by a positive number. He just know the number. Okay. So he can give negative numbers also, or he can give 0 also as an input, but which is not accepted. So I don't want the user to lose any number. Okay. So I want the user to give 5 genuine positive number. So that is in one case. Or second thing, if you want, no, whatever the number it is, if it is not greater than 0, I'll not accept. Simple. So in that case, user might lose the attempt, right? Instead of 5 number, if he give only 2 positive number, the other numbers will be not accepted by the system. So let's do both of them in this exercise. So you can understand that, and you can, here in this example, we'll introduce the while loop also with you so that you can get the concept of while loop. So let's start the first one. So here we'll write sum equals to 0. For count is 1 to 5. Input number. If the number is greater than 0, then only I will add that number with sum. Right? And if then we'll write next count. Print sum of 5 positive numbers is sum. Good. Now you can see here the same method, only we add extra line for validation because this is a conditional sum. So for example, input number, you input 0. 0 is greater than 0. No, that means it will not execute because the condition is not true. So that means you miss your chance. That means first number gone. You didn't utilize the chance. Then next count. Input number. You input -5. -5 greater than 0. No, that means you missed this chance also. That means I give you 2 chance to input a positive number, but you missed it. But I didn't give you chance again because you lose your chance, right? Which is not a good programming practice, by the way. So how to improve it so that user does not lose any chance, right? So let us introduce while loop here. So I write here sum is 0. So for count is, for example, you a person want to withdraw money from the ATM machines, right? So he knows that he doesn't know. For example, he doesn't know that he has only $50 in his account. Okay, and while he entered the amount that he want to withdraw, and he input $100. So the ATM will not tell him that you did wrong or mistake, something like that, and return the card to him. It will say, you don't have sufficient balance. This is your current balance, maybe. Please try again. Now he knows, okay? He'll not miss the chance again. Good, that's the thing. So here we're going to do the same thing here. So count 1 to 5. We'll write here input number. Now while the customer will do the mistake, the user do the mistake, while his number or her number is less than or equals to 0. So we consider 0 also as a like invalid number because it's not a number, right? It will not impact on the total. So while his number is less than or equals to 0, we'll give him a prompt or a warning number must be greater than 0. Okay? And then I'll ask him to input number again inside the loop. Then end while. Just give me a moment, I'll explain you how it works. Then we'll write here sum equals to sum plus number. Next count. Then print. Sum of 5 positive number is sum. Right? Let's see how it works. So your sum is 0 initially, fine. We accept that. We know that. So count is 1. Input numbers. Now you input -5. Okay. While the number, my number is -5 now. My number is -5. -5 less than or equals to 0. Yes. That means you made a mistake. You have to, I trap you. Number must be greater than 0. Input number. Now you input 0, for example. Then it will go again here. Now your number is 0. 0 less than or equals to 0. It's not less than 0, but it's equals to 0, right? So it will come again. Number must be greater than 0. That means you have to fix your input to get rid of this loop. This is like a trap. I trap you. Okay, so now input number, now you input 10. It will come here again. 10 less than 0? No. Equals to 0? No. That means none of the condition is true. So you are out of the trap. So you'll jump into this line. So your number is 10. Sum was 0. So 0 plus 10 is 10. So using this one, the perfect validation rule, okay, the user will not miss any chance. Okay, that means 5 genuine number will enter into the system and will be added with each other. I hope this concept is clear to you. Okay, so today we learn about the conditional sum and non-conditional sum. What is how we understand the question is related to sum? They will ask you about sum, or they will ask you find the total, or they will ask you how much. Okay, so what is the main concept of totaling? Totaling increase or decrease randomly, right? Totaling increase or decrease randomly, and it will by default does not depend on condition. We have to read the question properly to understand where else we need to put any condition or not. Okay, thank you very much for watching.